The massive screens in Earth's Global Defense Command Center lit up with countless red dots. Admiral Mike Anderson stood frozen, his coffee cup halfway to his mouth, as he stared at the display. Thousands of unknown vessels had just appeared at the edge of the solar system, beyond Pluto's orbit. "Get me confirmation from all our deep space stations," he ordered, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. The command center burst into controlled chaos as operators worked at their stations, verifying the readings. "Sir, all stations confirm. We're looking at approximately 3,000 vessels of varying sizes. The largest ones are about 5 miles long," reported Lieutenant Tom Wilson from his monitoring station. "They're holding position just beyond Pluto's orbit." Anderson placed his coffee cup down and pressed the red button on his console. Within seconds, the faces of world leaders appeared on the secondary screens. The emergency protocol he had just activated would bring together every major decision-maker on Earth. "Ladies and gentlemen," Anderson addressed the gathered leaders, "we have a situation. First contact is no longer theoretical. They're here." Before anyone could respond, every screen in the command center flickered. A tall, humanoid figure appeared, its skin a pale blue and eyes completely black. It wore what appeared to be a military uniform adorned with strange symbols. "People of Earth," the alien spoke in perfect English, though its mouth movements didn't match the words. "I am High Admiral Rector of the Galactic Empire. Your world has been chosen to join our glorious empire. Resistance is inadvisable. You have 24 Earth hours to submit your formal acceptance." The transmission cut off, leaving the command center in stunned silence. President Williams of the United States was the first to speak. "Admiral Anderson, what are our options?" Anderson pressed a few buttons on his console, bringing up Earth's defense readiness statistics. "Madam President, members of the Global Council, we've been preparing for this day for the past 30 years. Since we first detected their long-range communications, we've been building. Project Guardian is ready." The Chinese premier leaned forward in his screen. "The shield system is operational." "Yes, sir," Anderson confirmed. "We can have it activated within the hour. Our orbital defense platforms are also ready, and the underground cities can shelter 80% of Earth's population if needed." The Russian president's deep voice cut through the discussion. "We should show them we're not as helpless as they think. The Empire clearly expects us to be an easy conquest." Anderson nodded in agreement. "Our deep space sensors indicate their technology level. While they have numbers, their weapon systems aren't as advanced as we feared. The last 3 decades of preparation have put us in a strong position." The Indian Prime Minister spoke up. "We should call an emergency UN session. All nations must stand united." Within hours, the United Nations building in New York was filled to capacity. Representatives from every nation on Earth gathered to make what would be the most important decision in human history. The massive chamber buzzed with nervous energy as General Secretary Martinez took the podium. "Today, we face a choice," Martinez began. "Submit to an alien empire or stand as a free world. But I say we have no choice at all. Earth has never bowed to tyrants, and we will not start now." The chamber erupted in applause and cheers. When the noise died down, Martinez continued, "We have a message for the Galactic Empire." He pulled out a small piece of paper and read, "Earth declares itself a sovereign planet. We reject your empire and your ultimatum. Any hostile action against our world will be met with full force. This is our home, and it is not open for conquest." Back in the command center, Anderson watched as the message was transmitted to the Empire's fleet. The response was immediate. A single warship broke formation and moved toward Earth. "They're sending a demonstration," Anderson muttered. "Exactly as we expected." He picked up his command phone. "All stations, initiate Project Guardian. Let's show them what humanity can do." As the Empire's warship approached Mars, a subtle blue glow began to emanate from hidden satellites around Earth. The planet's first line of defense was about to be tested, and humanity would show the galaxy that they were not to be underestimated. Anderson smiled grimly. The Empire had no idea what they were about to face. Earth had been waiting, preparing, and building. Now it was time to show the galaxy that humanity would not go quietly into subjugation. The Empire's warship moved past Mars, its massive hull gleaming under the distant sunlight. At Earth's command center, Admiral Anderson watched the vessel's approach on the main screen. His fingers tapped steadily on the console as he waited for the right moment. "Enemy ship is charging weapons," Lieutenant Wilson reported. "They're targeting our moon base." Anderson's voice remained calm. "Let them fire first. Everyone, remember your training." The Empire's ship released a brilliant beam of energy toward the moon. Just before impact, Anderson pressed a button on his console. "Project Guardian, activate." A shimmering blue shield materialized around the moon, catching the enemy beam. Instead of destruction, the attack scattered harmlessly across the protective barrier, creating a spectacular light show that was visible even from Earth. "Shield holding at 98% capacity," reported Dr. Jack Porter from the science station. "The energy absorption systems are working better than our simulations predicted." The Empire's ship fired again, this time with multiple beams. Each attack met the same fate, dissipating against Earth's defensive shield. In the command center, Anderson allowed himself a small smile. "Send the detection report to all stations," he ordered. "Their weapon systems are exactly what we prepared for. Now show them our response." Hidden defense platforms around the moon's orbit suddenly became visible, their stealth fields dropping. Each platform was a marvel of human engineering, combining 30 years of reverse-engineered alien technology with humanity's own innovations. "Platforms 1 through 20 fire warning shots," Anderson commanded. "Remember, precision is key." 20 beams of concentrated energy shot out, each one passing within meters of the Empire's warship without actually hitting it. The message was clear. Earth could have destroyed the vessel but chose not to. The enemy ship immediately halted its advance. On the main screen, High Admiral Rector's face appeared again, his black eyes showing the first signs of concern. "This is unexpected," Rector said. "Your world possesses technology that should be beyond your capability." Anderson stepped forward. "High Admiral, we've been listening to your Empire's communications for decades. We knew you were coming, and we prepared. That was just a small demonstration of our defensive capabilities." "Impossible." Rector's composed demeanor cracked slightly. "No primitive world code." "We are not primitive," Anderson interrupted. "We are humanity. We took your broadcasts, studied your technology, and improved upon it. The shield that just absorbed your attack, that's our own design. Those defense platforms, they're just the tip of the iceberg." As if to emphasize his point, hidden sensors detected the rest of the Empire's fleet beginning to move forward. Anderson pressed another button, and Earth's entire defense grid activated. Thousands of platforms, satellites, and automated defense ships emerged from their stealth positions throughout the solar system. "My God," someone whispered in the command center as the full extent of Earth's military buildup became visible. The Empire's fleet, despite its size, suddenly seemed less intimidating. "High Admiral," Anderson continued, "we gave you our answer. Earth is not joining your empire. This is your final warning. Withdraw your forces, or we will be forced to demonstrate our offensive capabilities." The command center fell silent as they waited for Rector's response. The High Admiral's face showed a mix of anger and disbelief. Finally, he spoke. "This is not over. The Empire does not tolerate rebellion." The transmission cut off, and the Empire's warship began retreating toward its main fleet. Anderson turned to his crew. "Alert all stations. They'll be back, and next time, it won't be just one ship. Initialize Phase 2 of our defense plan." Around Earth, massive underground facilities hummed to life. Millions of civilians began moving into the subterranean cities built for their protection. Military personnel took their battle stations, and automated defense systems went into high alert. "Sir," Lieutenant Wilson called out, "the Empire's fleet is regrouping near Neptune. Our long-range scanners show they're calling for reinforcements." Anderson nodded grimly. "Let them come. We've spent 30 years preparing for this fight. It's time to show the galaxy that humanity will not be conquered." As he watched the enemy fleet on the main screen, Anderson knew that this was just the beginning. The real battle for Earth's freedom was about to begin, and humanity was ready. The vast underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains stretched for miles, its corridors filled with the history of humanity's secret preparation. Dr. Jack Porter walked through the main research wing, remembering the day 30 years ago that changed everything. He had been just a junior researcher then, working late at the old SETI Institute, when the first alien transmission was intercepted. Instead of the simple radio signals they had expected, they found detailed technical communications between Empire ships. That discovery had set humanity on a new path. "Dr. Porter." A young technician ran up to him, tablet in hand. "The Empire fleet is still holding position near Neptune, but our deep space arrays picked up something interesting." Porter studied the data on the tablet. Energy readings from the Empire ships showed they were attempting to analyze Earth's shield technology. He smiled, knowing they would find nothing. The quantum shield's principles were completely different from anything the Empire used. "Send this to Admiral Anderson," Porter instructed, "and get me a secure line to the other research bases." In the massive holographic conference room, screens lit up showing research facilities hidden under the Himalayas, the Sahara, and the Amazon. Each base had specialized in different aspects of Earth's defense technology, working in secret for decades. The shield test was successful, Porter announced to his fellow scientists. Everything we theorized about their weapons was correct. Now should we show them what else we've been working on? Dr. Emma Wright, lead researcher at the Himalayan facility, spoke first. "The gravity manipulation systems are ready. All the underground cities are protected by our artificial gravity wells. Even if they somehow break through the shields, they can't touch our civilian population." From the Sahara base, Dr. Marcus Brown added, "Our reverse-engineered propulsion systems are actually more efficient than theirs. We didn't just copy their technology, we improved it." Porter nodded, pride swelling in his chest. "Remember when we first decoded their transmissions? They thought finding Earth would be easy, just another primitive world to add to their collection." The memory triggered a flashback to those early days. Governments around the world had united in secret, pooling resources and best minds. They built these hidden facilities, developed new technologies, and prepared for this very day. "Sir," the young technician interrupted, "Admiral Anderson is asking for you. They're detecting unusual energy signatures from the Empire fleet." Porter rushed to the command center, where Anderson was waiting. The main screen showed the Empire ships forming a new pattern. "They're preparing for something big," Anderson said. "What can you tell me about these readings?" Porter studied the data. "They're trying to synchronize their ship's energy weapons, but," he smiled, "they still don't understand our shield technology. Even their combined firepower won't break through." "Good," Anderson replied, "because I want to show them something else we've been hiding. Is Project Mjolnir ready?" Porter's eyes widened. Project Mjolnir was their most ambitious development, a weapon system that used the Empire's own shield frequency against them. "It's ready, but we've never tested it at this scale. No time like the present," Anderson said grimly. "The Empire needs to understand that we're not just defending. We can hit back harder than they can imagine." Throughout the solar system, hidden weapon platforms began charging. Each one contained technology that had taken decades to perfect, a combination of reversed-engineered Empire tech and human innovation. In the research wing, Porter accessed the original alien transmissions they had intercepted 30 years ago. One message stood out. "Sector 7 contains only primitive civilizations, easy targets for expansion." How wrong they had been. Humanity had taken those 3 decades and turned their primitive world into a fortress. They hadn't just prepared defenses, They had surpassed the Empire in many ways. "All stations report ready," the technician announced. Porter looked at the Empire fleet on the screen. They still hadn't realized that their easy target had become something far more dangerous. Earth wasn't just ready to survive their attack. It was ready to fight back. "Let them come," Porter muttered. "We have a few surprises left to show them." The Empire was about to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't just in its technology, but in its determination to remain free. 30 years of preparation were about to pay off. Red lights flashed throughout Earth's command center as alarms blared. The Empire had launched its first major offensive, but not with weapons, with code. Multiple cyber attacks detected. Lieutenant Wilson called out, "They're targeting our defense networks, communication systems, and power grids." Admiral Anderson remained calm, watching as thousands of intrusion attempts lit up the main screen. "Initiate AI defense protocols. Let's show them why we built AEGS." Deep within the quantum computers beneath the Pacific Ocean, Earth's most advanced artificial intelligence system activated. AEGS had been designed specifically for this moment, learning from decades of intercepted Empire communications. "AEGS is engaging," reported Dr. Mary Hayes, the AI's chief architect. "The Empire's cyber attacks are being intercepted and analyzed." On the tactical display, everyone watched as AEGS countered each intrusion attempt with incredible speed. The Empire's best cyber weapons were being dismantled in milliseconds. "They're trying to access our shield control systems," Wilson noted, his fingers flying across his console. "AEGS is... Wait, it's not just blocking them. It's counterattacking." Through the quantum networks, AEGS had traced the attack signals back to their sources. Empire ships suddenly found their own systems compromised, their control interfaces locking up one by one. High Admiral Rector's face appeared on the main screen, his usual composure completely gone. "This is impossible. Your defensive AI. It's more advanced than anything in the Empire's database." Anderson stepped forward. "We had 30 years to prepare, Admiral. Did you think we spent all that time just building shields?" "You don't understand," Rector snarled. "The Empire cannot be defeated. We will not be humiliated by a single world." He cut the transmission, and the Empire fleet began to move. "Multiple ships breaking formation," Wilson reported. "They're spreading out through the asteroid belt. Energy readings are off the charts." Anderson nodded grimly. "They're switching to brute force. All stations, battle positions. Show them what our automated defense systems can do." Earth's hidden fleet emerged from its stealth positions in the asteroid belt. Unmanned combat vessels, each controlled by a subset of AEGS, moved to intercept the Empire ships. The battle that followed was unlike anything in human military history. Empire vessels fired massive energy weapons, but Earth's ships were smaller, faster, and more agile. They darted between the asteroids, using the terrain to their advantage. "AEGS is predicting their attack patterns," Hayes announced. "The AI is learning and adapting to their tactics in real time." The Empire's larger ships struggled to track Earth's automated defenders. Each time they fired, the human vessels were already gone, responding with precise counterattacks that targeted vulnerable points in the Empire's shields. "Sir," Wilson's voice was excited, "AEGS has complete schematics of their ship designs. It found weaknesses in their shield configurations that they don't even know about." Anderson watched as the battle unfolded. The Empire had numbers and raw power, but Earth had something better, innovation born of necessity. Every system, every weapon, every tactic had been designed specifically to counter the Empire's advantages. "Their fleet is pulling back," Wilson reported. "But there's something strange about their energy readings." Hayes rushed to her console. "They're activating some kind of large-scale weapon system. AEGS is detecting power signatures we've never seen before." Anderson's expression hardened. "They're getting desperate. That means we're winning. But it also makes them more dangerous. All stations, prepare for Phase 3. Throughout the solar system, Earth's defensive grid shifted. Hidden weapon platforms emerged from within hollowed-out asteroids. Quantum shield generators activated around key strategic positions. "Sir," Hayes said quietly, "AEGIS is reporting that the Empire's new weapon could potentially overcome our current shield configuration." Anderson nodded. "Then it's time to show them our last line of defense. Activate the gravity manipulation systems. Let's show them why you don't corner humanity." As the Empire prepared their superweapon, Earth's defenders stood ready. They had spent 30 years preparing for every possibility, and even now, they still had cards left to play. The real test of humanity's preparation was about to begin, and the outcome would determine not just Earth's fate, but potentially the future of the entire galaxy. Launch Operation Thunderbolt. Admiral Anderson commanded, his voice echoing through the command center. The moment had come for Earth to take the offensive. From hidden bases across the solar system, specially designed stealth ships emerged. Each vessel was a masterpiece of human engineering, completely invisible to Empire sensors. Leading the fleet was the EDS Shadow, commanded by Captain Mark Rogers. All stealth systems functioning at peak efficiency, Rogers reported from the Shadow's bridge. "The Empire has no idea we're here." The plan was bold but calculated. While the Empire focused their forces near the asteroid belt, Earth's stealth fleet would slip behind their lines and strike at their support vessels. "AEGIS has mapped their entire command structure," Dr. Hayes reported. "Their supply lines, communication relays, everything. We can cut them off from reinforcements." The Shadow led the stealth fleet through the Empire's formation. Rogers watched his tactical display as they passed within kilometers of massive Empire warships, completely undetected. "Target acquired," Rogers announced. "Their primary command and control ship is in range." Anderson's orders came through clearly. "Disable their communications first. Let's see how they fight when they can't coordinate." The stealth fleet struck simultaneously. Precision weapons fire disabled the Empire's communication arrays before they even knew they were under attack. Panic spread through the enemy fleet as ships suddenly lost contact with their command structure. "Sir," Lieutenant Wilson called out, "we're picking up distress signals from various sectors of Empire space. Other worlds are rising up." On the main screen, reports flooded in. The Empire's iron grip on their conquered worlds was slipping. Earth's resistance had inspired others to fight back. "We're receiving transmissions from multiple species," Hayes reported excitedly. "They want to coordinate their rebellions with our attack." Anderson smiled. "Send them our tactical data. Show them how to fight back effectively." The Shadow continued its mission, leading surgical strikes against key Empire targets. Each hit was precisely calculated by AEGIS to cause maximum disruption with minimal casualties. "Enemy fleet is in disarray," Rogers reported. "Their formation is breaking up. They can't maintain their battle line without central coordination." The Empire's massive fleet, once so threatening, now began to look vulnerable. Without their complex command structure, individual ship commanders struggled to coordinate their actions. "Sir," Wilson called out, "the rebel worlds are reporting success. They're overrunning Empire control centers across 3 sectors. Anderson nodded. "This is what we planned for. Not just defending Earth, but helping others break free." "Captain Rogers, proceed with Phase 2 of the operation." The Shadow and its stealth fleet began broadcasting on all frequencies. The message was simple but powerful. Earth wasn't just fighting for itself. It was fighting to end the Empire's tyranny. "Multiple Empire ships are powering down their weapons," Wilson reported. "Some are actually turning against their own fleet." The command center erupted in cheers as they watched Empire ships begin to turn on each other. Centuries of oppression were unraveling in hours. "Incoming transmission from High Admiral Rector," Hayes announced. The Empire commander appeared on screen, his face a mask of fury. "You haven't won. You've merely sparked chaos across the galaxy." "No," Anderson replied calmly. "We've sparked freedom. Your empire was built on fear and control. We just showed everyone that you can be beaten." As if to emphasize his point, another wave of reports came in. More worlds were declaring their independence, protected by Earth's defensive technology freely shared with all who opposed the Empire. "All ships," Anderson commanded, "push the advantage. Don't let them regroup. Show the galaxy that humanity stands with all free peoples." The battle was far from over, but the tide had turned. Earth had transformed from a target into a symbol of resistance, and the Empire's grip on the galaxy was crumbling. Captain Rogers watched from the Shadows Bridge as more Empire ships either surrendered or joined the rebellion. Who would have thought, he mused, that humanity's first major action in galactic politics would be leading a revolution? The Empire was learning a harsh lesson. They hadn't just attacked a planet. They had awakened a force for freedom that would reshape the galaxy. High Admiral Rector stood on his flagship's bridge, watching his empire crumble. His black eyes reflected the tactical displays showing more and more systems falling to the rebellion Earth had sparked. "Bring all remaining loyal ships together," he commanded. "We will crush Earth, even if it's the last thing we do." In Earth's command center, Admiral Anderson watched as the Empire fleet consolidated into a massive attack formation. "They're bringing everything they have left," Lieutenant Wilson reported. "Over 2,000 ships, all powering up their primary weapons." Anderson's face remained steady. "They're desperate. That makes them dangerous. All stations, prepare for maximum assault. Activate all defensive systems." The Empire fleet surged forward, their weapons blazing. The assault was unlike anything seen before. A desperate, all-or-nothing attack aimed at overwhelming Earth's defenses through sheer power. "Quantum shield holding," Dr. Hayes reported as the first wave hit. "AEGS is coordinating our defense platforms for maximum efficiency." The space around Earth lit up like a new sun as thousands of energy beams struck the planetary shields. The Empire ships fired continuously, pouring everything they had into the attack. "They're trying to overload our shield grid," Porter called out from his station. "But they don't understand. Our shields get stronger as they absorb more energy." Indeed, the quantum shields began to glow brighter, the absorbed energy strengthening their protective field rather than weakening it. Every Empire shot made Earth's defenses more powerful. "Sir," Wilson's voice cut through the chaos. "Multiple Empire ships are reporting critical system failures. Their weapons are burning out from sustained fire." Anderson nodded grimly. "They're destroying themselves in their desperation. Activate Project Mjolnir. Let's end this." Throughout the solar system, Earth's hidden weapon platforms powered up. The technology they had developed used the Empire's own shield frequencies against them, turning their defenses into a vulnerability. "Mjolnir platforms at full power," Porter announced. "Target solutions locked. Fire." The platforms activated simultaneously. Instead of traditional weapons, they emitted waves of energy that passed through the Empire ship's shields as if they weren't there. Ships began losing power, their systems overloaded by the precise attack. 60% of enemy fleet disabled," Wilson reported. "Their formations are breaking up." But High Admiral Rector wasn't finished. His flagship charged forward, leading the remaining ships in a suicidal rush toward Earth. "They're going to try to ram through our shields," Hayes shouted. Anderson's response was immediate. "Activate gravity control systems. Show them our final defense." Around Earth, hidden generators came online. The space around the planet distorted as artificial gravity wells formed, catching the Empire ships like insects in amber. "Enemy fleet is trapped in our gravity net," Wilson reported. "They can't move forward or back." On the main screen, Rector's face appeared one last time. This is impossible. How could one world do this to the Empire?" "Because we had something worth fighting for," Anderson replied. "Freedom isn't just for humanity. It's for every species your Empire enslaved." As if in response, more reports flooded in. The rebellion had spread to the Empire's core worlds. Their military bases were falling, their control centers being overrun by free populations. Admiral Rector, Anderson continued, your empire is finished. Surrender now, and we'll spare your crews. The command center fell silent as they waited for Rector's response. The once proud admiral looked at something off-screen, then slumped in defeat. The Empire surrenders, he said quietly. Throughout the solar system, Empire ships began powering down their weapons. The great fleet that had threatened Earth now floated helplessly in space, caught in humanity's gravity web. Send out the rescue ships, Anderson ordered. Let's show them that humanity knows how to be merciful in victory. As Earth's vessels moved to assist the surrendered Empire ships, the gravity of what they had achieved began to sink in. Humanity hadn't just defended itself, it had changed the course of galactic history. Sir, Hayes said softly, we're receiving messages from across the galaxy. They're calling Earth the Liberator World. Anderson looked at the main screen, watching as former Empire worlds declared their independence one after another. The galaxy was transforming, and humanity had led the way. 1 month after the Empire's surrender, representatives from 100 formerly enslaved worlds gathered in the newly constructed Space United Nations headquarters in orbit above Earth. Admiral Anderson stood at the main podium, looking out at the diverse assembly of species. Some were humanoid, others completely alien, but all shared one thing: they were free. Today marks the beginning of a new era, Anderson began. The empire that once threatened to enslave us all is no more. In its place, we propose a galactic council of free worlds. The chamber erupted in approving sounds from various species. Dr. Hayes, working with AEGIS, provided instant translation for all attendees through advanced communication devices. Earth does not seek to replace the Empire. Anderson continued, we believe every world should govern itself. This council will exist only to ensure peace and cooperation between our peoples. Former High Admiral Rector, now a prisoner under house arrest, watched the proceedings from his confined quarters on Earth. The once proud Empire officer had finally understood why his forces had failed. We will share our defensive technology with all member worlds, Anderson announced. The quantum shields that protected Earth will now protect every free planet. Never again will any species face the threat of enslavement. Dr. Porter stood at his station, coordinating the transfer of shield technology to the newly freed worlds. Earth scientists worked alongside alien engineers, teaching them how to build and maintain the defensive systems. Furthermore, Anderson continued, AEGIS will be upgraded to protect not just Earth, but all Council worlds. Its primary directive will be to detect and prevent any attempt at galactic domination. In space, the remains of the Empire fleet were being repurposed. Some ships were returned to their original worlds, while others were converted into defensive platforms under the new Council's control. The stars once represented danger to us, Anderson said, his voice carrying emotion. Now they represent opportunity. Together, we will explore, learn, and grow. Not as conquerors, but as equals. Lieutenant Wilson, now promoted to commander, managed the new integrated defense network. Ships from various worlds patrolled together, their crews learning from each other. Earth will serve as a guardian, Anderson declared, not as a ruler. Our role is to ensure that what happened under the Empire never happens again. The assembly buzzed with approval. Many representatives had visited Earth's underground cities and defense facilities, amazed at how a single world had prepared so thoroughly and effectively. We propose regular council meetings, shared scientific research, and open trade between all worlds, Anderson continued. But most importantly, we propose mutual defense. An attack on one free world will be considered an attack on all. In Earth's command center, the tactical display now showed a very different galaxy. Instead of Empire control centers, it showed thriving free worlds, each protected by technology shared by Earth. The Empire's greatest mistake, Anderson concluded, was believing that domination meant strength. We proved that true strength comes from unity, from working together while respecting our differences. As he finished speaking, the assembly erupted in cheers and various alien expressions of approval. The representatives began signing the new Galactic Council Charter, officially marking the beginning of a new age. Back on Earth, people emerged from the underground cities, looking up at the stars with hope instead of fear. Ships from various worlds now regularly visited Earth, bringing trade, knowledge, and friendship. "To think," Dr. Hayes said to Porter as they watched the ceremony, "all this started because we intercepted their signals 30 years ago." Porter nodded. "We turned their own arrogance against them. They never imagined a primitive world could do what we did." The ceremony concluded with a spectacular display of ships from all member worlds flying in formation around Earth. Each vessel fired energy beams that combined to form a brilliant light show, symbolizing their new unity. Admiral Anderson looked out at the assembled representatives one last time. "Remember this day," he said softly. "This is how peace begins, not through force, but through understanding, not through conquest, but through cooperation." The galaxy had changed forever, and humanity had led the way. Earth had proved that freedom was worth fighting for, and that determination could overcome any empire. The stars now belonged to everyone, and they shone brighter than ever before.